Okay, this is the review of the book The Greatest Attacker in Chess, the enigmatic Rashid Nezhmetdinov. He was in fact really a great attacker, and I have seen some of his games. In some cases I notice that he fought for a long time, like there were some beautiful moves that he found over the board, but the reality is it took more than 45 minutes to find them. So I don't know if with the time controls that we have today, if we actually can do that. The book has more than 100 games, has been written by Cyrus Lakdawala. I hope I pronounce the name right. If not, he can obviously sue me. Okay, no, Cyrus is a great writer, probably the greatest chess writer. And I would like to show this game that was played in 1954 in Bucharest. So we are speaking at the height of the Cold War. Bucharest in Romania, so under the Ceausescu regime probably. And Rashid is white and is playing against this great player, Italian player called Enrico Paoli. Enrico Paoli never made it to Grandmaster, but he was really great into giving the gift of chess, teaching chess to the people, and he did a lot of books, so it's kind of interesting, okay? In fact, he writes it here. Just before this game, Nezhmetdinov received news of the birth of his son, so we are 1954. His soaring joy at becoming a father may have inspired him to create this attacking masterpiece against then Italian IM Paoli, who was later awarded GM honoris causa, Grandmaster, which gained him the fourth Brilliancy Prize. Yeah, probably when he died they gave him that. So E4, C5, Nezhmetdinov is white, okay? Knight F3, D6, D4, oops, C takes D4, Knight takes D4, Knight F6, Knight C3, A6, so I think this is the Najdorf probably, Bishop G5, E6, and Queen F3. Okay, here Cyrus stops, put a diagram in this position, and he says this is White's fourth choice in the position. At first we are tempted to shun the move as one of the eccentric. It seems odd to place the queen in front of the f-pawn rather than behind it. The idea is to keep options open for both, a future f2, f4 and also f2, f3 after moving the queen to g3. This is the great thing of this book. Cyrus Lakdawala is a IM, but he has really this gift to explain well the position, the games. So in my opinion, it's worth to buy any of this book just for his explanations. Maybe not for the lines he gives, because obviously the lines sometimes are made by engines, but the explanation of the position is more important, okay? Bishop e7, long castle, Queen c7, starting already to pile up on the c file, Rook g1. Obviously White thinks that there will be a castle on the king side, and so is preparing to attack there. Yeah, and let's see what Cyrus writes. He says Nezhmetdinov was probably familiar with the stem game played in the previous year between Roisman and Polugaevsky. Although Roisman lost that game, Nez must have liked White's position. The idea is to push the g-pawn to the fourth rank. move a g5 bishop to e3, and then g4, g5. Now, let's keep in mind one thing. We are speaking of 1954. It's not so easy to know if Rashid Nezhmetdinov was really familiar with the game mentioned by Cyrus, the author of the book, because the informant was born in 1966, so 12 years later. So it was difficult at that time to gather the games, and so one had to be a subscriber of different magazines, maybe in different languages, German, Polish, Russian, and so on, in order to get games. While today we are so lucky that we have thousands of games every week played all over the world, and we can find them everywhere in internet. So that's really, really amazing. But in 1954 the thing was kind of different, okay? So let's move on. Bishop d7, g4, knight c6, bishop e3, like Lakdawala wrote, and h6. White's attack looks fast in the line. Now h4, rook c8. Notice how smart is, in a sense, black. Black knows that white is going to attack on the king side, and so is waiting. He doesn't castle to give his opponent the attack right away, okay? Here Cyrus wrote, this was a theoretical novelty at the time, but no improvement. Polugaevsky tried the superior 12 h5, okay? So instead of rook c8, he tried h5, okay? But also in that case it didn't practically work. It gave mutual chances, and it was played in Leningrad in 1953, that game that is mentioned continuously. g5, h take g5, knight e5, queen g2. Exercise, critical decision. And this is also another thing why Cyrus Lakdawala books are good, because he stops and tell you, hey, you have to do some exercise here. No? Here it says, black's f6 knight is attacked. Yes, is attacked, but it seems I didn't attack it because I didn't play h take g5, sorry, my bad. I don't know why, it's my bad. So I notice it now. So it says, black f6 knight is attacked. Our choices are among moving to g4, h5 or g8. So g4, h5 or g8. Black is lost if he picks one of the two incorrect squares. Only one choice gives him equality. Where would you move a knight? Yeah, this is a... So you have to pause and decide, if you are black, where would you put the knight? It seems Paoli played knight g8, which was the wrong move. The right move was knight f g4. Okay, so this was the right move. Here Cyrus says the knight rents an apartment in a low rent district. This retreat means that essentially black has spotted his opponent 2 feet empty in an open position, which translates to white obtaining the faster attack. So this is the explanation why g8 wasn't so good. And black in this move g4, it was black knights cannot be trapped due to favorable geometry. And here it gives a few lines The lines are like A, B, a lot of lines that are reaching also after move 20. So I think one should get the book to see all those lines. Okay, so let's go to knight g8, the move played in the game. That was a mistake, okay? Now, how did white continue in this position? The position continued with f4, knight c4, bishop takes c4, queen takes c4, f5, b5. Yeah, clearly black is a little late in the attack. It seems that white is kind of very well advanced. Okay, but of course here black is threatening to go here and then take this. Okay, so that's the problem. So white plays king b1 to defend, and black continues with b4. Now again Cyrus stops here and says, hey, black attempts to change the subject and go on the attack himself. What is white's strongest attacking continuation? And the answer, for those who pause the video and try to find it, is g6, the move annihilation of defensive barrier. White ignores the threat on his knight and pries open black's king side. Black continue with e5, and obviously here there are some lines that instead of e5 prove why b takes c3 is not working. Okay, so I advise you to try to find the reason why b takes c3 is not working, and eventually if you buy the book you will be able to see why e5 was the best move, obviously, of a situation which is practically lost. Okay, black now is attack with the b3, which is a very good move, and here he says that instead of this move, maybe also this move would have been good. Obviously it's a little more prudent than this, but of course it's just a question of taste. Okay, b3, queen takes c3, g takes f7, king d8. Now obviously here Lakdawala put a line to show why if black takes on f7 he loses the game. Okay, queen takes g7. This is clearly going bad at the moment. And in this case Lakdawala says that however precise calculation was needed to give this kind of sacrifice is not something one should do lightly. Okay, and that's why I told you I saw that yes, Nezhmetdinov created some great attacks, but often he fought for a long time on each move, so he wasn't thinking 5 seconds, he was thinking 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and then moving. He takes d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes c2, and obviously this is scary for a normal player. King a1, and now look at this, rook h2. I mean, this is kind of scary, right? But obviously also if black threatens checkmate, in here, in a 2, there is something that white calculated, right? So here it says exercise, combination alert, black threatens mate, but in reality his attack yields nothing but drooping soggy fruit. How did Nezhmetdinov force mate in 4 moves? So please pause the video and calculate how white can give checkmate in 4 moves. Which means that Nezhmetdinov watched kind of far, because in move 23, queen takes g7, and we are at move 26, so he must have calculated kind of 5 or 6 moves in advance to justify what he did. Okay, so if you are ready, I will show you the answer, otherwise pause the video. Okay, bishop b6, check, rook c7, and queen takes g8. Now there is the little analysis by Cyrus that shows possible continuation, like bishop f8 or bishop e8, how white gives checkmate. Okay, and I think this is a good exercise one should do in order to learn how to play. So this was move 27, and this is the game is over. Now if people are interested, I can show other great games from this book, which I really think it was a great book to read, especially for the analysis and the number of games. After all, there are more than 100 games that one can watch, starting from a long time ago, because some games were played like in 1929. I find the book useful and instructive, so I hope you will also enjoy it.